I'm making a third-person platformer where you play as the eye of a dead god who's on a quest to fix a world fallen into madness. One of my favorite things about making games is the optimization part, which is why I decided early on to make the game using only one texture. While that might sound kinda crazy, it has actually sped up the development time quite a bit since I don't need to make a new texture for every single model. In all my previous projects, I just used solid colors for my models, so with this one I really wanted to learn how to actually, texture them. The hardest or most confusing part for me was learning how to unwrap them. It was kind of daunting at first, but it really isn't all that bad, and after a few tutorials and trying it out myself, I got the hang of it pretty quickly. I've been working on this game on and off for maybe over a month. For just over a month. It started with me wanting to make a simple 3D platformer with some witty dialogue. The first thing I made was the main character, which was originally supposed to be some sort of head, but then I got the idea of making a big eyeball that looks around and blinks, which I instantly fell in love with, and I knew it was going to look awesome in the main menus. For the blinking, I used blend shapes, where I make two versions of the model. One has the eye closed, and the other has the eye open. Then I can randomly blend from one to the other in Unity. To make the eye look around, I added two bones to the character for animating. One for the pupil and the other for everything else. This way I can randomly rotate the pupil bone and the character is looking around. So far, the plot is that you were the most powerful of all the gods, and your role was to watch over them and make sure they abide by the rules to ensure the safety of the realm. But the gods eventually grew tired of your rules and judgment. Their lust for freedom, in quotation marks, led them to plot against you. But since you can't really kill a god, they instead drained you of your power and cast you out. Since the game is so mechanically simple, I've focused quite a bit on polishing the visuals and menus. From my experience, working on an ugly game for weeks or even months on end is really discouraging, and I eventually lose interest and move on. I had a lot of fun making the menus and figuring out how they should look. They're super simple and minimalistic, and while they're not finalized, I think they go really well with the game. My favorite thing about the menus is how it displays the character at his current checkpoint in the game, so the background is dynamic depending on the last checkpoint in your current save. And the fact that you instantly start playing when you hit the play button makes my loins very excited. As time passed, with no one to withhold the rules, the gods were drawn to greed, selfishness, and finally madness. They would fight over petty grievances, killing, in quotation marks, each other until there were none but one left, known as the Mad God. Making the saving system was a headache and a half, especially since I've never made one before and I was working on it just as the holidays were in full swing. So it wasn't until I could just sit down, clear my head, and really think when I finally got it working. But in hindsight, it really ain't that complicated, all things considered. My plan is to finish and finalize the first 15 to maybe up to even 30 minutes of the game as some sort of polished demo that should represent the final game, and hopefully get some good feedback on what works and what doesn't. I plan to release devlogs pretty regularly from now on, and I hope you enjoyed watching. Please let me know how I can improve with my future devlogs, and don't forget to subscribe if you don't want to miss out on the next one. Peace.